Hello and welcome to the Unknown Comics Podcast. I'm Brandon. There's Darren. There's Tanner. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How did that even happen?
I don't know.
Oh,
She just randomly inserts herself into conversations now.
Special guest this week, Siri.
Siri is on the podcast with us. Hello.
She always finds the best times to interject a conversation.
If by best you mean weirdest times, yes. Hope everybody's having a good day. For those watching us live. Is anybody watching us live? Let's see.
We got a couple.
People are watching us
My
live.
camera's probably there.
Probably.
One of these days, Mike, you're going to have to be on the show with us.
He agreed he would come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know what we should do is pick one of the weekends that maybe we're traveling and y'all need another guest, or tonight would have been perfect because there's no Chris. We could have had him come on.
Yeah.
If only we thought ahead.
We don't do that.
No, I mean
That's what professionals do.
Whoa, who wants to be a pro?
Fake it till you make it, baby.
There you go.
Whoa, who wants to make it?
We've got some things to talk about.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you want to talk about, Darren?
I mean, we got to start where we always start. We have our little segment.
What are we going to do tonight, Brain?
The Disney Plus. That's our first segment.
Hey, gods.
Same thing we do every night. Try and take over the world. Okay, go Tanner. I'm sorry.
I don't know, Brian.
It's going to be another one of those. All right.
Yep.
So Disney Plus.
So,
yeah.
Episode 5, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes.
It was so good.
You didn't watch
Didn't
it.
even watch it. Stop lying.
It was good, though.
Yeah. I mean, for it being a shorter series, they're packing a lot into these episodes. Of course, this one was like an hour long. I think this has been the longest so far. First one with an after credit scene. What do you think's in the case?
I didn't watch the after credits scene. I didn't know it was there.
Oh.
You didn't see it.
I haven't seen it.
No, I'm just saying you don't see what's in the case yet.
But he hasn't
I'm
seen
asking,
the after credit
I'm asking
scene.
what you think is in the case that Bucky gave.
But he just says he doesn't know what's... Oh,
It's the shield.
He has the shield.
Oh,
it's the hammer.
I don't know.
So he asked
Tacos.
He asked the Dora Milaje for a favor, right? I think it's his Captain America suit with the wings, like a Wakandan made. So it's probably going to be his
Because
actual.
I mean, they've made it pretty clear that Falcon's going to be the new movie Cap.
Yeah.
The on-screen Cap.
Yeah, I think it's his new suit. So,
Made of
vibranium,
vibranium?
huh?
Made of vibranium?
Why not? They make everything else out of it.
That's the most expensive thing outside of Wakanda ever.
It's just
until Wolverine gets here.
it's like aluminum in Wakanda. They're making Coke cans out of vibranium.
You just don't slam the can down on the ground, or else you just cause an earthquake. Actually, that's a hilarious idea for a video. So we open up with the big fight, the triple fight, which who's going to happen.
From an outside perspective...
From an outside perspective, you just need to watch it.
I will.
Before you ask questions.
Shut up. Is it kind of like at the end of Civil War where Bucky and Cap are fighting Iron Man and it was just 2-on-1?
It kind of had that only... yeah, it really kind of was.
Yeah. There's been a lot that has kind of mirrored Civil War in this show.
Okay. Because, I mean, like we've talked about before, every one of the Marvel movies, franchises inside of the Marvel MCU has their own kind of theme.
Subgenre.
Yeah. And, Captain America was always government espionage kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of figure the Winter Soldier Falcon kind of fits into that vein.
It definitely still fits there. I don't like where they're going with Sharon Carter's character. I mean, we'll wait till episode 6 to see if there's, anything to it, but...
She's still pretty.
Okay. It's not what I'm watching, but sure. It's like she's never been a character that's kind of rode that line, I guess. and MCU's kind of taking her, unless it is some kind of cover, kind of a thing. Like she's playing a longer game.
I have a feeling that she's the power broker.
That she's the one giving out superpowers?
No, but she's the one that sent Batroc to the Flag Smashers. So she's helping the Flag Smashers.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Well, the way she talks, she's like the power broker really wants their serum back, but just the way she's wording stuff, it makes it sound like.
I thought
it's like when you talk about yourself in the third person is the way she kind of.
I thought that until this week, until I heard her actually, call it Batroc and.
I didn't get that.
Oh my gosh! Turn your phone off. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket. Just put it in your pocket.
She wants to be a part of this conversation.
I don't want her. Go
I'm
away.
not sure I understand.
It's your watch.
It's your watch.
You keep turning it on with. Are you bending your wrist or something? Weirdo.
Well, here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's because that's fun.
You hurt her feelings. I don't understand why I have to go in the mean man's pocket.
Yeah, like I said, I thought that up until this week, and the fact that she's, I don't know, I think
Definitely, there's been a lot less with this. There's not like the sitting around and speculating what's happening that there was with WandaVision.
yeah,
But have you seen all the jokes like the Shang Chi trailer dropped this week, which I have yet to watch?
It looks
But
cool.
like
looks
they
really good,
immediately like, well, the Mandarin has 10 fingers and so does Mephisto, so that must be the Mephisto. Because like the entire WandaVision.
Amanda says the watch is Chris tonight. I need to update the names on the
There you
screen.
go.
Just put the watch.
What do you think, Suri? I don't know.
Suri? Did you just call it Suri?
Suri, that's how I've always said it.
Siri.
Suri.
Siri. You can't pronounce anything right.
Mike Perkins, if you're watching, you understand. So, and y'all did see Random Bunny trailers, something that I'm probably not going to get to watch for a while either. Y'all saw like Elizabeth Olsen, or that's right? Scarlet Witch. How she was saying like Doctor Strange is like, it's going to be like horror themed, like a horror movie.
Ooh.
Well, yeah. I mean, is it because it's the same director as the first Doctor Strange, right? No, they changed directors or something. I can't remember.
I don't
wonder.
keep up with directors.
Oh, I finally watched New Mutants last night.
Ooh,
I fell asleep during it.
You're like a year late on that.
Yeah,
I haven't
totally
watched it
passed
yet.
out. I totally passed out and don't know how it ended.
I did finally watch Wonder Woman though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought New Mutants was incredibly slow.
I was okay with the way they did it though. I mean, they were trying to introduce it as a semi-horror film for mutants. And there was a few
You lose
things-
it if you know who Moonstar is.
No, yeah.
I mean, the horror aspect's gone when you know it's her.
Yeah, but the storytelling was okay in it. I mean, it was okay for being a Fox. I mean, it was one of the better Fox X-Men movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I still can't get past, you screwed up X-Men 3 with Dark Phoenix, and then you gave that guy the director job for the next time you tell the Dark Phoenix story.
Yeah.
And, like, you let him screw it up twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Suck it, Brett Ratner.
I don't even know his name, so I'm glad you do.
Brett Ratner, yeah. Okay, so, I mean, it's been a great series. Like, and if you notice on our podcast, there's not as much to talk about
It's
because
'cause-
there's not that speculation. That's what we were talking about with WandaVision, which I still think is fine. There wasn't a lot of speculation with Mandalorian. I mean, we were talking about what could be coming.
Right.
Like, Zemo did not play as big a part as I thought he was going to.
Yeah, he
Honestly.
really didn't.
Did he escape?
Yeah. Yes
Yeah.
and no. He got recaptured this week.
Yeah.
So he's going back to the raft.
I still think they're building him up to be Thunderbolts.
No, he's going back to the raft. So, which he wasn't in the raft originally.
he was just in some prison.
He was just in some other prison in Germany, but now he's going to the big house. So,
The big house.
which we saw it. Yeah, we saw it in Civil War, didn't we?
We saw him locked away in that
Yeah.
cage.
You saw Stark land on the raft. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all helicoptering and rainy and rafty.
Wait. No, that was we saw the prison, but not Zemo in it. Is what you're saying?
Well, no,
Okay.
I was just saying that wasn't the first time we'd heard
Because that's where
we've-
Captain America freed
Yeah.
the
Sam and
his new Avengers.
yeah. So yeah, final episode's next week. Hopefully Darren will watch it by then. Probably not.
So I have not watched any TV since before Hawaii. So it's been a month. I've gone without watching any TV for a
How
month.
have you bought any samurai swords off a Home Shopping Network?
No,
Or jewelry?
I don't buy those
Or
things.
purses?
You look like a man who could use a samurai sword.
I look like a man who could use an unhung pineapple shark that didn't die one day to a murder.
You shouldn't have taken him out of his natural habitat.
You shouldn't have murdered him.
I didn't murder him.
It was not a murder.
Tanner, tell the truth. Tell the truth, Tanner.
It's hard. I know. It's hard to cope.
I can't believe he would hang himself after.
The first step is acceptance, Darren.
He did come back to life, though.
No, he didn't.
Why is he sitting in somebody else's office being protected from you behind a lock and key? He is. He's just hanging out in an office, like up high. Well, Tanner couldn't reach him, but you could. But.
That was rude. I feel personally attacked.
So, speaking of being attacked, CGC is like under siege this week.
Oh, that was the worst segue ever. Speaking of murder,
We're gonna.
I got my oil change this week.
These prices, you guys.
It's making me dizzy.
Remember when our podcast used to have actual like coherent content? That was cool.
Oh, and then that became delirious when we started building a store out.
Yeah, it's all the fumes.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
was way too much paint.
So CGC.
So CGC sent out some emails this week, and the whole collecting world is like up in arms about these emails. So CGC's upping their price, which they've been at I think it's $20 for a long time.
Price hikes happen.
But I mean, they started off, our business is great, guys. Everything's working great. We're having to add to staff. We're having to hire to a new facility. But we are going to have to make some adjustments for price.
How big is this operation? Estimate. How many employees do you think?
When we were there for the signing in January, we got to get a tour, and it's over 400 employees before the hiring.
Oh, wow.
They're
Okay,
a massive
so-
facility.
Here's the deal: if you're gonna hire people, and you're raising prices, you need to get the books out faster.
I'll agree with that. I mean, I'm okay with that, but here's the deal, though. Like, okay, so it takes time to train these people.
Yeah.
So I understand you're way behind. Everybody's bored at home, and I think this is what people forget about what's going on into the world today. Everybody's bored at home. Comic book prices are through the roof all over the board. Every era of comic books are up. Everybody is submitting like cases of books at this point. And it's out of nowhere. They weren't prepared for this volume. They showed us the pallets of trading cards that have been submitted since the world went
'cause they're
crazy on
also doing
trading cards.
magazines, all that stuff.
So think about trading cards. Pallets of trading cards that they have to grade.
Jeez Christ.
Pallets of trading cards.
Yeah.
One pallet's what? 50,000 cards or more? Based on, a box this size holds 250 to 300 cards, and they have pallets of them.
What's going to happen? They're going to flood the market with all this graded stuff, and then it's
When-
going to crash anyway.
When it gets out there, but who knows? Maybe Wall Street will back out of comics altogether.
CGC's controlling the market demand by just slowing everything down.
Maybe.
It's their long game.
They're pulling GameStop on everybody.
So the whole world is up in arms about the $2 price change. It's $2, which to me, I'm like, so you went up 10%. Okay. So I'm not too up in arms about that at all. They did double their fast track price, so it went up by it went from 10 to 15, I believe. They got rid of pre-screen for modern, which is insane because that's how everybody submits. They submit like if it's not a 9.8, don't grade it and just charge me $5. But they got rid of pre-screen on modern altogether, so everything from like 1975 to now can't be pre-screened anymore. It has to be graded. So if you send your books in, you can get it 9.0s and 8.5s and all that stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, and which is going to piss a lot of people off. I mean, that's what everybody's saying right now because April 28th is the deadline for if you don't have your invoice slip printed by April 28th, you fall underneath this new structure. The only one, I mean, I'm not worried about the pre-screen because out of every 100 books we submit, 99 of them are 9/8.
Well, and we kind of pre-screen ourselves too, don't
Yeah, I mean, Amy is very good at her job. She does all the pressing in-house. She does all the grading. We actually just we transitioned to her to actually have an employee to start training now because we're going to just turn that into a department.
Yeah.
But, like, dealers are up in arms. They're like, we're never going to guarantee 9/8 blue labels again. I'm like, it's not that hard to get a 9/8. Like, you just got to look at your books, man. You shouldn't be submitting if you don't know how to do it anyways. They lowered the retailer discount, which is actually a big deal. I mean, it was already pretty sucky at 20%,
Right.
but now it's 15%. And for normal authorized dealers, they now exclude yellow labels. You get no discount for yellow label. So to me, I would have been okay with just the price hike. But to start excluding stuff and then change the dealer rates, I mean, these guys are helping you build your business.
Yeah.
And you're kind of cutting it out from underneath them of them to want to continue to help you. Mm-hmm. And what's funny about all of this is all last week, CBCS was making all kinds of what I thought was very untasteful, like pictures. And then like CGC comes out with this, and now it's just going to be like, who to use? I mean, that age-old question, CGC or CBCS? And I will still go CGC because even if they are running behind, they're still
They're typically worth more, aren't they?
about 20%. There's about 20% price difference between CGC and CBCS.
Do you think that stays?
I do for right now. I mean, CBCS has been gaining on CGC for a while, but I still think CGC is the standard.
So why? So what causes that value difference? Is because CGC just has more experienced appraisers?
So I have two different opinions. CGC has an official registry where you can actually compete with other people on who has the best set, and the only books that count are CGC books.
Okay.
That's one side of my thought process. The other side is people who are getting books graded like this are already kind of OCD and everything has to match.
Right.
So they only want to use one service.
Right. So all their labels look consistent, even though CGC has changed fonts and stuff throughout the years.
The cases will be consistently the same. And honestly, it could just come down to customer loyalty at that point. I mean, I've been with CGC since the late 1990s, and I just don't want to switch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be all kinds of things. So, but the whole world is kind of in an uproar about this, and some people understand. I mean, anybody who has any common sense understands prices have to go up at some point.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been paying the same prices on CGC, I think, since we started doing this. So, I mean, if you figure a 10% hike on your pricing, and let's see, this is on year 5 for us, and they haven't had any price change in 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost, I mean, if you figure the 2% for cost of living upgrade, and you figure the way it would have inflated if they did change their prices every year, we're about where we're supposed to be.
Right.
So people need to calm down about that. I am a little upset about the price change for retailers, but I mean, it's still 15% off. We still submit a ton of books. We definitely make up for what we would send in anyway, so it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
And facilitators still get to keep their signature series discount. So we actually, as facilitators, still get the discount for signature series. So that's okay. Because we're technically doing the work for them.
Right.
So,
well, so moving back to Disney Plus, there was some news yesterday. Was it yesterday?
I saw it this morning.
I saw it today. Okay. So Sony and Disney have come to an agreement regarding the Marvel properties as far as putting their Sony's Marvel associated products on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And did it also include a further arrangement as far as shared properties as well? Like, I don't know.
see, I already thought the Tom Holland Spider-Mans were already on Disney Plus.
Nope. I've tried to watch them, and I had to go rent it from Amazon.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. The only way I could watch them is because I have them on Apple TV.
I wonder if it's like they get paid per click. Like per people who watch it. They get
I'm sure there's some way they track it and can submit a royalty for it. So that means both the current Spider-Man movies, Into the Spider-Verse, Venom.
Now I know I've watched Spider-Verse on Disney Plus.
On Netflix.
Yep.
Is it on Netflix? Okay.
It's not anymore. It's gone.
It's gone now, but
it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I know I've watched that on a streaming service.
Yeah. Which I still love that movie.
I do too.
That was such a good
I
movie.
don't like the art.
I love the art.
Like-
I thought it was great.
The art's all fuzzy and stuff in certain places. It looks blurry at times. I love the story, but like, I'm not a fan of the art style in that movie.
Apparently, Sony patented it so much they love it so much they want to use it for other things. So we'll see what happens, what they use it for in the future. Their comic.
It might be a cool Transformers format for like a Transformers
Yeah.
movie. I think that style could fit for Transformers.
Which Universal has Transformers? Who has Transformers? It's not Sony. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know who owns anybody. Everybody owns. Disney owns everybody.
It's
really.
whoever has Hasbro. Whoever has the Hasbro, which should have been who did G.I. Joe's? Who did the G.I. Joe movies?
I don't know.
Chat's not helping on that. So I don't know, but it's pretty cool. I just they need to be in the same service.
Yeah.
It makes sense that all those are together. They're already moving the of course Disney owns it, but they finally started moving all the X-Men stuff over, which New Mutants is on HBO Max for now because it was premiered on HBO cable. And so I'm assuming eventually New Mutants moves over to Disney Plus once its cable rights are over.
Now, I did see an article, and I actually talked to Anna about it this weekend. Sony's looking to make their own series, and they're looking at Silk as the main hero for their TV universe.
Oh, we were talking about it. She's popular.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely got a popularity to her.
I think she's
I'm
cool.
still surprised you don't go with Spider-Gwen.
Well,
I think
Maybe-
Spider-Gwen's the bigger character, even Black Cat.
but maybe those characters they're going to work out with another shared deal with Disney. They're wanting something that's completely Sony based. And if
Yeah, but Silk, you don't want to be completely Sony based. It's like I don't even believe Morbius is going to be
I'm
Sony
kind of with you.
based.
If I'm Sony, I want to be a part of the MCU.
Yeah, I mean everything you do is just a drive to make more money. Let Marvel be involved or Disney be involved and help control the narrative of where you're going because
their movies do a lot better.
well, not only that, look at the value of comics that are just Sony based or Fox based.
Yeah.
Not tied into Disney. There's a small jump in price, but nothing big. But if it ties into the MCU, people go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
For now.
if they
And
announce a Silk project, the prices will spike on ASM4 pretty hard. But at the same time, like, tie it in. I mean, she has direct ties to Peter Parker. They got their power from the same spider.
Right.
Like, don't hide that character away from the MCU because that's a strong female lead that could go on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, if you want to do a TV show about her, give up a little bit of say-so, give up some money, split some money, and just put that thing on Disney Plus.
I don't think it'd be too long before Disney finally just outright buys everything back.
Well, they're going to own
They're going to
everything
own
one day.
I mean, even if they have to buy the entirety of Sony, they're going to get it back eventually.
they bought Fox just to own X-Men and that last Star Wars movie.
Star Trek.
No,
Or
Star
Star-
Wars.
why would
There
they
was
buy
one
Fox?
movie that was one of the original 3 movies had a weird tie.
A New Hope was still Fox distribution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because of the arrangement Lucas made for the first one.
Back in the 70s.
And Lucasfilm owned the Empire and Return of the Jedi outright. So
Okay.
in perpetuity, he could do whatever he wanted with them. But
Right.
A New Hope was still tied to that. Yeah.
So, yeah, they bought it for Mutants and Star Wars.
Sure.
Well, now, the dispute with Predator. There's a big dispute for Predator now.
Because Paramount, because Viacom has Predator or whatever.
So,
That's part of Predator.
yeah.
But I mean, if they own basically all the characters but the Spider-Verse outright, and Spider-Man probably by far is the most profitable character outside of the, as far as merchandising, toys, everything else that is involved with it, eventually they're going to want to outright own him too.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely. They don't want to have to every 5-10 years go back and renegotiate a contract.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, "This is mine now. Here's your kickback. Go away.
Yeah.
Here's your $15 billion for Peter Parker."
We'll see.
And I bet you that. Yeah, I bet you they could go to the like, we want $30 billion and you can have Peter Parker back. And then Sony just goes out of business. We just make video game systems now.
No, they. I don't see Sony's media business going anywhere. I don't see it going to Disney. I don't know that the Department of Justice will let Disney buy any more of the big four.
Well, then Disney will just move to another country and do it anyway.
Well, but that's the thing is you have to be able to operate as a business in America though, or else you're. I mean, it'd be like not being able to operate in China. A media business has to be able to operate in China now too. So that's why everybody has to sell 10% of their business to China pretty much. 'Cause that's how if you ever want to distribute to China, you have to let the Chinese government buy 10% of your company.
Really?
Yes.
So I'm never going to distribute to China.
There you go.
I don't even think we ship comics to China very often.
I don't know what the process is, but yeah, they're very that's part of their state, right? The state has to own part of the business.
Huh.
So and because the state owns, you have to let a Chinese company own at least 10% of your business for you to be able to operate as a business in their country. Now, that said, if you're a Chinese company, the Chinese government owns part of your company as well. Mm-hmm. So that's communism, man.
All right, now we're getting political. All right.
I'm just saying that's just how the system works, good or bad. That's just how the system works, and that's why. I don't see Disney buying up. They'll buy more little ones, for sure, like more little media pop-ups and stuff. But I don't think they're going to pick up another big one. You may see somebody like
Lionsgate or something like that.
Yeah, you may see something like Universal and Viacom at one time maybe smashed together, but it's going to be hard for them to get super huge.
Yeah, well, Disney's already the biggest at this point by far.
It's hard to say because some of the other ones diversify their business into a lot of other things that aren't media as well.
Right.
And they don't release all their numbers on everything, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a shareholder, so.
Yeah, I'm not either.
This conversation got really boring really quick.
Yeah.
So moving on, speaking of media conglomerates making money, you were throwing out some numbers about Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, like as of last weekend, it was up to $460 million in the box office.
And that's just theater box office.
That's just theater box office.
Global.
So that doesn't include like all the HBO Max watches.
Right.
Which, to me, that is an astounding number that says it's time to let movies come back.
Which I didn't realize until I was flipping through HBO Max last night that those were on there only for a limited time.
Are they really?
Yes.
I didn't
Godzilla
either.
vs. Kong is coming off HBO Max in 10 days.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there you go.
So what? I guess to push you to buy the DVD? Or to buy the streaming rights?
They're probably still going to put a moratorium on it before it goes back to its home release cycle.
I wonder if that's about the same time it's going to come out of theaters.
But Wonder Woman's still on HBO Max, so because you just watched it.
Well, I bought the DVD, but also
Oh.
it just came out on DVD.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Who knew? I mean, and what's great about it is this is the first sign that like there's hope for movie theaters to be able to come back and start making a living again. Because before this, all the movies that have come out in theaters have. I mean, Wonder Woman did pretty good in theaters. I don't think it did $500 million, but it did pretty good.
Yeah.
So I really wish they wouldn't have moved to Black Widow because I would have loved to see what Black Widow would have done in theaters in May. When it's because that opening weekend in May has always belonged to Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, since 2009, Iron Man came out in 2008, but I don't think it came out in May.
Shoot, I don't even remember.
I couldn't tell you.
But I mean, they've owned that opening weekend for
I mean,
I don't know, almost the last 20 years.
It tied in. You went to the movie, and then the next day was Free Comic Book Day.
Right. I mean, that's what you do. I mean,
I never made that correlation.
I've seen them I've seen the big two compete over who was going to get that opening weekend spot.
Yeah.
And every time DC was the one that chickened out, and they were like, "Oh wait, we're going to wait for 2 more weeks."
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And then Star Wars is in December.
yeah, and I mean, this weekend you're going to have Mortal Kombat in theaters. So, I mean, that's two Warner Brother movies.
Which
Like,
we got that opening scene, and that just made me even more jazzed. Like, it's getting okay reviews. I don't care.
it's endless violence.
Yeah.
It's mindless, dumb violence.
Another one of those movies that you don't think about too much. You just watch it.
I watched.
So I went and watched Nobody from the guy who did John Wick. Kind of lives in the same. That movie was awesome. It was nothing but mindless violence for 2 hours, and I appreciated every minute of it.
You just needed that.
You do. The perfect. Okay, so before my favorite man movie of all man movies is Battle for Los Angeles with Aaron Eckhart.
That's a pretty good one.
And the reason why it is my favorite man movie is because it has some aliens, it has the military, they are fighting over Los Angeles, things blow up, people die, aliens die, and there is zero romance in this movie. Like, they hint at, like, the veterinarian and Aaron Eckhart might, like, have that little kiss, and then she just disappears forever. Like, she never comes back in the movie again. She doesn't die. She just disappears. And then it has the most appropriately placed F-bomb in all of movies. You're just like,
I have never watched it.
heck yeah. Oh, you got
It's
to,
good.
man.
It's really good.
But it is nothing but 2 straight hours. And I mean, it starts off in action and it just continues the whole movie.
Yeah.
And the aliens look like Tao to me.
Yeah, I could see that.
So they have
still,
like this.
I still think my favorite just man movie ever is Aliens.
I mean, the actual aliens, the second one, I can see that because
Yeah.
it was pretty exciting. The first one to me was too slow,
That's a horror movie.
and the third one to me was just okay, like below okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in elementary school when that movie came out. I think either elementary school or sixth grade.
Came out in 92 or 93. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, in '92 I was 11, so I was just going into like middle school.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just
No, Aliens is great. The sound of the freaking smart guns and pulse rifles. It's just the best thing ever. It's the best sound effect ever.
Well, you really need to watch Battle for Los Angeles because you'll rethink that because it's really cool.
You know
it's
what
a good
happens when
movie.
people say, I can't believe you haven't watched this. You really need to watch this. I don't want to watch it even more now.
That's okay.
I get dug in. You haven't seen Breaking Bad? No. You really need to watch Breaking Bad. I'm never going to watch that damn show.
I've never seen Breaking Bad either. I have no desire to watch that show. There's certain shows like everybody gets really excited about, like Game of Thrones. Like everybody lost their mind over Game of Thrones. I watched the first 2 episodes with Heather,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Oh, that was pretty good." By the time we got upstairs to go to bed, she's like, "That was softcore porn. You can't ever watch this again." I was like, "But just 2 seconds ago, you said it was pretty good."
Yeah.
And so I watched all of season 1 in secret. All of season 1. I waited till everybody went to bed. I went to my comic room. I closed the door, and I watched all of season 1 on this itty bitty little TV. And I owned all the seasons because I got them free at Hastings.
Oh, yeah.
But I never went back and watched a single episode after that. I take that back. I've seen the last episode.
So I've rewatched the first 3 seasons about 1 million times.
Okay.
Because those are the best ones. Once they catch up to the books, it just slowly.
Yeah.
So I also heard that after like the 3rd season, the sex scenes slow down. Is that why? Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's just not as good. It's
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Once it kind of diverged into its own path, I think, it kind of lost its luster.
Now, is there an actual ever official last book? Has it come out yet?
he has 2 more books in the series that are not released.
Yeah.
So is this going to be like what book was it? Was it Lord of the Rings that had to be finished by the son, like the
No.
last book, or what was the story like?
Lord of the Rings was completely finished, but
So J.R. Tolkien's son did make books based on like his father's manuscripts and notes, but those weren't like those have never been made into films or anything. And Frank Herbert's son did the same with the Dune universe as well. He had notes, and so he just kind of kept it going.
When is Dune coming out?
This winter.
No.
I am so ready.
The real question is, What is the over or under that Avatar 2 actually comes out before 2025?
I don't care. I never watched the first one.
I've never seen Avatar either.
What? I love Avatar.
It's not the last. It's not the last Airbender. I don't care.
Oh well, okay.
Just never had a desire to see it.
Really, I was all about it. I was there opening night and went back a couple times.
You also like 3D movies too. I don't.
I like movies in general.
It's just Smurfs in space.
That's fine.
Dances with Smurfs.
Yes.
That's fine. It's all fine. I'm okay with all of that. You have aliens. You have humans. You have war. What part of this are you not understanding about my logic of movies? It did falter because it had romance. Like you start getting into romance and you take away the manliness of it, but I can accept it because we always sneak in like romantic
What if
covers.
I mean, you speak of aliens and war. What if it's romance for the Emperor?
What?
40K, the Emperor. What if the love story is how much you love the Emperor and love killing
He
aliens?
doesn't care about Warhammer lore. He doesn't know anything about it. He
I just
just
want to
played
beat
the
the
game.
shit out of people. That's all I play for.
He never cracked a lore book in his life. He doesn't.
That's not 100% accurate. I read a really cool like Space Wolf story about how they actually went and explored this cave and the Tyranids wiped all but one of them out. That was a cool story. That's about my only
Did
story
somebody
I
tell
read.
it to you, or did you actually read it with your eyeballs?
There were words.
Okay.
I read them twice
Okay.
to make sure I understood what it said.
Yeah. Do you know about any story of Infinity? Just say no. I know you don't. You don't have to look at me like that. Yeah. Yeah, you
There's
know.
Japanese themed. There's French themed. The French lose a lot, so it's accurate.
That's about right. So,
Have you ever Googled? I don't know if it still does it anymore, but if you Google major French victories and you put "I'm feeling lucky," it'll be like, "Do you mean major French losses?"
hold on.
You giving it a good old try.
Let's do this. Hold on. What the heck?
What are you doing there?
Adblock Plus has been. Hold on. I gotta reach over here.
You can also ask Siri to divide 0 by 0. It's also awesome.
No.
Yeah, he showed me that the other day.
She's grounded from the show.
We miss you.
Major French victories? Is
Major French victories, but you have to put "I'm feeling lucky."
Oh, I gotta. Oh, hold on. I gotta go to the actual Google. Not just the
Google.
browser. The Chrome browser. Okay, here we go. Major French victories. I'm feeling lucky. I just went to the military history of France.
What?
Lies.
No, it used to go to like.
Lies.
They fixed it because France probably got mad. Cancel culture.
You know, France was the most powerful military power for about 500 years.
Yep.
Neat. They're not like anytime soon. Like they haven't been.
Like, you've heard of Napoleon, right? Totally.
Dynamite?
Totally French. Italian born, but French.
Napoleon Dynamite. That was a good movie. They're making a
I
sequel.
still haven't made my daughter watch that yet. I need to.
I don't know how I feel about them making a sequel of that.
Amanda hates
Seriously?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, they're gonna make a sequel to it,
Oh.
and like
Leave that alone.
you had such a wonderful
That's like
movie. Let's not ruin it.
It's like when they talk about either remaking or doing a sequel to The Princess Bride. Just let it be.
Yeah, just let it.
It's perfect the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, don't even go back and do CGI. Just let it live.
No, just clean up the film, scan it into 4K or 8K or whatever the hell you're going to scan it into, and just leave it alone.
I agree with that.
Tweak the color, make it look pretty. Leave the movie alone. It's perfect.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Let's see. We also have this last weekend was huge for us.
Huge.
As we opened.
Amanda says you need to ask Siri to beatbox.
Well, let's find out what happens.
Hold on.
Hey Siri, beatbox.
Here's one I've been practicing. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
Cats and boots and 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 cats.
Okay, we're done. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda, for that little helpful guide. That is going to be part of my life now. I'm going to teach my kids that.
What were we talking about? Not boots and cats.
Cats and boots.
Oh, okay.
The grand opening.
Grand opening of the store.
So we opened the grand opening of the store.
You can go to our YouTube and watch the video I put together of it. It was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's pretty cool. Like,
This is some good aerial shots.
yeah, the poor guy sitting on the ladder almost fell. You could tell in the camera shots a few times.
There was a shot where
There
you
was
almost fell off the
there was
ladder.
a
It's
clear
pretty
shot
funny.
when you were standing over by Thanos where we pretty much assumed you slipped because the camera does this. Ah!
Oh, maybe. I don't know. That or I was waving at somebody with the camera.
Wow, that's unprofessional.
Well, you're not supposed to take that shot. I was just letting it roll.
We know that Tanner doesn't edit. He just posts it together and goes.
He just drops everything in the timeline and render. Let's go.
He just puts a cool picture at the beginning.
I do too edit. I don't edit this.
They'd be ashamed if you did.
It'd be like a 5-minute show.
Cut all the good stuff out.
Yeah, I mean half the stuff is why. And before we go back into the grand opening, why am I so far from Brandon?
For my protection.
It's for our headphones to be more comfortable.
Tanner, I need you to be honest with me. Why did Brandon ask this? Did he go to HR and be like, "Can I be on the other side?"
No, it's because I wanted slack in my headphones. I didn't want you.
Tanner does not care about my well-being. It was just a happy
It was-
side effect.
It's for my own comfort.
So because he didn't complain, I could like go over there and hug him right now to be fine, right?
I don't
Nope.
care. I don't care what
Okay,
you
cool.
do. You look so betrayed.
Nope.
Who said something?
No, Travis says no more weenus touching. This is true.
Stop the cameras. We're gonna have to have a serious talk off camera.
So, anywho, grand
opening.
opening.
Wait, now, are we calling it the grand opening? I thought it was our soft opening.
It's our soft opening because I want to do a bigger event probably
Yeah.
in June. Because we're gonna have some really big, like we're gonna have the week of grand openings in June because it looks like we're gonna have 5 major superstar guests in June, which only 3 of them are confirmed, so I can't say all 5. But
Right.
we're gonna do something big. I'm gonna try to get food trucks to come out. I'm gonna try to get some bouncy houses to set up out in the parking lot. And hey, they've already approved it, bro. I'm gonna bounce.
Nobody
gonna
need-
bounce with me.
Nobody needs to see you bounce.
What I really want is to get a face painter, and we reenact 7 years ago.
I saw a TikTok today, and it was like when you get the job, but lie in your interview as a face painter. And all he could do was Spider-Man, and he took a paint roller with red paint and rolled it over this kid's face, and then had some black paint and some fishnets and dipped it in there and stuck it on his face, and then he just put white paints on his hands and was like, Spider-Man.
Maximum effort.
And then some little girl came up and showed him this picture of a butterfly, and he's like, mm-mm. And he points at the Spider-Man picture on the wall.
What color Spider-Man would you like? I could
Do you want Spider Gwen?
I could do pink Spider-Man. I could do red. You want a green Spider-Man? We can do that. What color would you like your webs?
All I can see is the roller. So, hold still, kid.
We have
Close your eyes.
we have plenty of rollers, so you just get an employee to do face paint for you.
Well, we have a couple staff that have done like face paint, so I think we're okay there.
No Spider-Mans.
I mean, only if it's a roller being used. I'm totally doing this. Like, we're going to have face painting with rollers. Or even better. Oh, you want a face paint? Come here, Bob, for the apple.
It's inside of the can of paint.
Don't swallow the apple.
There's Mike. Mike's here finally.
Dang it, Mike. You took forever.
Technically, we were late too. So
That's true.
yeah.
So the grand opening was this weekend. We had Anna and Ron.
Yep.
So we have our windows covered up with these awesome stickers. And then we have stands in front of the windows to kind of help if someone's to break in, they're going to run into a wall.
Yeah.
So I can't see anything, and nobody's standing in front of the front door. And so when I go out, because my kids are for some reason standing out by the front door instead of just coming in.
He just says he came in at a weird time. There was no good time to come in, Mike.
There's never a good time when apparently I'm present.
So
Like, I guess the professionalism just goes away when I'm here.
I surrendered. I've died to it. I'm just
When Chris is here and I'm not here, y'all are all business, and I'm here and we get all giggly and laughy, and so
I think you spiked my Slim Chickens.
I did. So I could touch your weenus later.
No.
No. So, but when I popped my head out the door, because my kids kept getting in front of the door, I'm like, why aren't y'all coming in? Well, we didn't want to bother you. Get in here. But then I look behind him, and there's just a line of people going down the sidewalk to the right. I was like, oh, okay. Because I kind of felt like I was actually kind of sad because I didn't see anybody outside. I was like, here's our big grand opening. We're going to open the doors, and it's going to be like one person randomly is going to walk in.
And where are your two video guys? We're standing by the game tables.
Right. Yeah.
We were putting your train together is what we were doing.
We sit there, like, we could have got pictures of all of this. And I finally looked at him and was like, why aren't we filming any of this?
Like, I don't know. We're
We
putting
don't
the
have
train
film.
together.
We don't have film in our cameras. That's why we're not
We
filming
don't.
anything.
Oh, that's sad.
We're going to need a dark
But
room.
I look to the right, there's a line around the corner. I look to the left, there's a line up past the furniture place next door. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then when we opened the doors and told people they could come in, it felt like a small version of a Black Friday that you would see
It was
online.
definitely a super spreader event.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely everybody got COVID for sure. So,
We were just handing out COVID just like product. It was delicious.
a little COVID for you, a little COVID for you. And it's a lot of people I've never seen before. Like, and I've been in this, the comic business in Amarillo for 10 years. And there's a lot of new faces and a lot of new people, and everybody. It was cool because a lot of people that I talked to said that had a Hastings feel to it, which is what I wanted. Because other than going out of business, I liked Hastings.
Yeah.
So
It also smelled weird at times. I don't want to smell like a Hastings. That incense rack just totally like.
I guess I don't have a sense of smell, so that's why I probably never knew I had COVID because I've never been used to smelling in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Okay, podcast over. Cool.
But hundreds of people came in on Friday. I wish I would have got a clicker and kept count, but I bet you we had at least 300 or 400 people in the building on
Should
Friday.
have just marked on their foreheads in Sharpie.
You're number 1. You're number 704.
Yeah.
And then Saturday was real busy. Like, we stayed busy all day Saturday.
Yeah.
There was never less than 15 or 20 people in the building, not including staff. And then, we closed on Sunday so we could kind of catch our breath because we've been nonstop on this
Well, we
building.
were up here till 11 o'clock just doing auctions.
Well, we were still up here on Sunday until 11 o'clock, letting Ron and Anna finish their drawings.
Oh, yeah.
So I put in the hours already this week. And then Monday, it was still steady traffic all day. And Tuesday, it was steady traffic all day. And Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, today's been our best sales day since the grand opening. And it's just been steady all day.
It's awesome.
So, I mean, it's kind of exciting. It kind of gives me encouragement, because I really want to do another one in another city. And if we can make it in Amarillo and Amarillo's consistent, there's no reason why we can't start looking at bigger cities and putting a store there as well.
Yeah, like Lubbock.
See, I like the store owners in Lubbock.
I know.
OKC.
So,
I like OKC.
what he just said is he doesn't like the ones in Amarillo. Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, you're really trying to start a thing, aren't you? You're really trying
Mike
to
says
start
do one in central Pennsylvania.
You gonna fund it? If you fund it, I'll be there.
We want that Amish dollar.
Is that where they're from? Is Pennsylvania?
They're rural Pennsylvania. I mean, they're just kind of all over rural
They
Pennsylvania.
don't. I mean,
We could do a comic book barn raising.
ooh. Do you think they'll show up for that?
Maybe.
You just mashed concepts together. Explain how that would work.
The community comes together and builds a comic book store.
Oh, okay. Comic book store barn. Gotcha.
But I want a barn.
Well, it could be barn style.
yeah.
No, I want a real barn
American rustic.
with no power, and no phones.
No,
I
we'll
mean,
just.
you got to be careful. It's going to be candlelit. You even have a warehouse full of paper.
It's fine. It's all fine. Yeah,
Mike says he'll work there, but he can't fund it. Though to be fair, he does buy a fair amount, so
so
he'd indirectly fund it. So
Well, Amarillo is 220,000 people. So I think our market will always be trying to find places that are bigger than Amarillo. I mean, I think Phoenix would be cool one day. Definitely somewhere in Florida. I like the idea of going to Florida. And I really want to.
Florida.
I do want to move to Florida. I want to open a store there And I want to put it right next to CGC, and we just do all of our CGC shipping there, so I can just live there. I'll just live there. It'll be fine.
I mean, you're fixing to turn the big 4-0, and
A midlife crisis.
Florida's the place where you go to retire because you're getting old.
So, fun fact: I actually don't believe in retiring. Like, it's never been a thing for me. Like, everybody I know that's retired, like really retired, dies. Like a year and a half later, they're dead. So.
Retirement's a lie made up by the hedge fund companies.
It's like if you trauma, you just go to the near death star. You're kidnapped by robots.
I don't know where to go with this. The show's over.
It's not over yet.
You work until you die.
You do. But I mean, it's not even about, like, you could do it, like, can you imagine, like, you just do conventions for, like, your retirement? You just go around, you set up at conventions, you sell enough money to get by, you hang out for a couple more days and be a tourist, and then you go on to the next place. You're always moving, you're always making money. So, I mean, it's the ultimate kind of cool retirement if you think about it. You just go to conventions, like, oh, I'm gonna skip this next one, and I'm just gonna spend, the whole next week in Florida.
You hire enough staff, you can do that right now.
If I was rich, maybe. You gonna give me more money? You gonna be my sugar daddy? You gonna give me some money?
I don't have any. That's why I have to work for you.
You work for me because you love me, not because you have to. You have a full-time job.
Yeah, I'm expensive.
I know. What else did somebody say?
Amanda says from weenus to darkness.
Now, this is the Amanda that you're married to, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is my Amanda.
Mike says, I agree with Darren about the retirement. When you don't have much to aspire to or goals to accomplish, you just have nothing to necessarily keep going for. And no, I agree. I don't think...
somehow, like, men die. Women just live forever. I think that's why, like, men, like, I retired, and then, like, they just die, and then the women are like, I still get another 20-year marriage in.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Retirement doesn't mean idleness. Retirement just means
But for most people,
you're living off your investments. To me.
But
Your primary income is your investments.
So you're older than me, and you're in my investment. So you have to live longer than me, okay?
Say that again? My eyes just crossed.
Don't worry about it, none. You're my investment.
Wow, you're a bad investor.
I know. I'm betting in paper. Like, who does that?
Paper? No, it's plastic when it's slabbed.
Ooh, yeah, there
you go.
goes that.
There you go. All right. That was a good podcast. Ish.
Ish.
It's entertaining.
It was entertaining, to say the least.
Hey, I'd like to point out, I may not always be the serious person like my brother, but I will always keep it entertaining. I will always have fun with this, because this is actually kind of fun just to laugh.
This is fun.
So
it's good just to laugh. But no, this past weekend was a lot of fun. We had a good time too.
I was walking around. I saw some really cool painted models out there.
Oh, good God.
Oh, Lord. Yes, somebody brought them up there and put them next to yours, and you're like, oh, that is painted better.
Except Mike, that just has every backhanded way to insult his painting, and it's hilarious.
Ramos?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever just thought about shivving that guy? Like, shut up.
I don't think he would die.
He won't. He just lived forever.
He's like Rasputin. We could poison him, shoot him, stab him, hang him, and he'd just keep going.
Every time I bring something up, he's like, those are really good. But there's always a but.
And I'm not being critical. Yes, that's exactly what you're doing. I don't think you understand. You keep saying this word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
He was like, well, how come I don't get to bring my stuff up here? I was like, well, I don't sell my army immediately after it's painted.
That's true. You don't sell anything.
No.
All right. Well, Tanner, do we have anything coming up on the YouTube channel this week? I know you just posted a...
I did a review. I did a video for the grand opening. We got some other...
You did Tanner's top picks.
Yeah.
Your typical
FOC.
We got the typical stuff. We're just now kind of getting back into the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this build out for this store took 10 weeks, and by week 7, it was like all people. If you don't have a normal thing if you have something you need to be doing, you need to drop it to work on the store. Thanks.
Yeah. We're going to.
I mean, our shipping even. I mean, there was a few times I had to like stop the shipping department altogether so they could do stuff around the store just to try to get remotely done, and we're still trying to get it done.
Yeah.
So like we've been normally getting stuff out. If it comes in on Tuesday, it's usually out by Friday, which is still in the side of 3 to 10 business days. But right now, it's like last week's stuff just got finished up this afternoon, so it's running at about 6 business days right now. So we'll get caught back up.
Yeah, and Tara and I are going to start working on more content as far as more bat reps and stuff. We made Twitch affiliates, so I'm actually going to start live streaming gaming, probably from my house. I don't know that I'll actually come here to do it, but from my house, it'll be like tabletop and comic themed games,
right?
Computer games and stuff. But we'll do that.
I've been getting stuff ready to give to the rest of us, so we can start doing some Frostgrave.
Yep.
I'm trying to turn your table. Sorry.
So I'm getting the rules, some charts ready for us. I plan on doing like videos of building out the whole war bands and all that sort of stuff.
Nice.
Should be pretty cool.
And to clarify, Mike Hammer, it's not the biggest day of sales since we opened. It's the biggest days of sales since the grand opening weekend.
Yeah.
Like Friday and Saturday were better than like a major con for us. Like outside of like C2E2, San Diego, and New York, like those 2 days here at the store were actually better sales than almost any other convention we've been to. So
I mean, it was a mini con.
Yeah, it was definitely felt like a mini con.
And I think people in this area are starving for that sort of content.
So then hopefully we can continue
guess what?
to give it to
We
them.
had like non-employees actually playing games in the store. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's way cool.
We had X-Wing last night, and they'll be playing Wednesday nights here pretty consistently. We've got Magic tomorrow night, which is Friday, which is tonight if you're not watching live. Yeah, he says even today being a higher day is surprising.
Yeah,
as opposed to a Wednesday.
I think so. We already have 2 other local comic book stores.
Yeah.
That probably absorb most of the local comic book store business for right now.
And I think the way we're set up, we're not going to see the typical Wednesday because we're not a pull box store, we're an FOC store.
We push everything to online,
so people might be coming to pick their stuff up, but that doesn't mean it's already paid for.
I think that's a good distinction. We're not a typical comic book store. We're like
the way I've described
we're a showroom and a game room.
Right. And the way that I've basically described to all of our new retail people is this is a showroom for our website. Yeah. So if you can't be busy, you can't work here. If you're a person that can't stay busy, you can't be here.
Yeah, and if you're local, it's just like an online pickup place. I think that's the best way to describe it if you're a local. The gaming's a little bit different. The gaming side is more traditional. Yeah. Definitely more stock there because gaming just has to operate that way. You have to have a game room to really move games. You have to have a place for people to play and see it played.
And I did like your idea of what you wanted to name the game room. So it has a lot of nostalgia to it.
It needs to happen. We need to figure out a way.
We painted on the gray wall over there.
I think we incorporate the old color scheme, the red and gold.
Yeah, red and gold. But maybe update the dragons a little bit.
Or even just the
Scottish looking shield thing we built out.
So
because again, this is my 10th year. I opened my first store in 2011. It's now going on 2021, so I've officially been in the comic industry for a decade.
Dun, dun, dun. God, you're old.
You're older.
I know.
So, anything else? Any other questions, comments?
Are there any other days planned, 40K or board game nights? So the X-Wing days happening was because kind of the local X-Wing community kind of just moved to it. That wasn't really us.
I think we're going to leave it up to the community to kind of sort that out.
Well, but the community is going to need direction, so we're probably going to say, hey, this Saturday, come out and play 40K. Maybe we'll have some incentives to come out and play.
I think a lot of it is we definitely need people, and if you're local and you want to demo games, that's a huge way to grow your community. It's kind of a selfless thing to have to do. You have to
You're about to say lose, aren't you? You're about to say you have to lose.
well, if you demo it right, you lose, right? That's
how you sell it.
You have to surrender.
Your children will just want a trophy. They want participation trophies, I bet.
I will say to grow a gaming community, you have to surrender your playtime to get other people to play, right?
Kind of, though. But, I mean, you're still playing. It's just you're playing on a tutorial level.
Yeah.
You're now, like, getting on a first-person shooter with a new player and be like, oh, I guess we have to go through the tutorial
But you're
level.
teaching, though, right? Your brain power is teaching. It's not really in full enjoyment, the puzzle solving of it.
You're really playing yourself. When you're teaching him, you're really playing yourself and just kind of talking them.
Yeah,
through
Darren
what they're
can't
doing.
demo games.
No, I
One,
can't.
Darren doesn't read rules. Darren relies on other people that know
This
the
is
rules to
how
teach
I
him.
learn new games. Hey, that game looks cool. Huh. Here, Brandon. Here's the rule book. Come teach me how to play.
And
So you know the
and then
reason you know the reason why I do that, right?
give me some lame excuse that you don't want to read the rule book, but yes, go ahead, layer this on there.
Okay, cool.
I want to engage the community. It made you involved.
Actually, I don't comprehend when I read very well.
Oh, and I get that.
And that's why I have someone else, because otherwise I'm going to get the rules all wrong.
No, I totally get. I think.
That's why I read comic books,
I
because it
think
has
that's
pictures.
I think that's why you have to demo games.
Yeah.
Period. Right. You need that hands on with the table. Right. It just. I'm one of those. I can and I made fun of it, but
Well, it's one of those things.
it's
too.
easy for me to read a book and figure it out.
A lot of times when I demo, I'm demoing to someone who has never touched a tabletop game in their life.
We talked to somebody like that tonight, and he just like stared at the table. He could not understand the concept of tabletop gaming, and I'm trying to break it down to its base points.
I always tell them it's chess with dice.
Yeah, I mean, it's chess with dice. It's if you are not good at strategy games, and you've never been good at strategy games, if you're not good at puzzle games, maybe you're just playing for the to paint the models, or you don't mind losing. I mean, that's the biggest thing that a lot of people have to understand is
You can play narrative games, I think.
yeah.
too.
I mean,
Like,
if you're not good at strategy, then you need to understand that you're just playing for fun. Because there's
Yeah.
going to be people like me who can't play for fun. That's why I don't play at all. If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. That's kind of how I feel about playing. I love playing games, but at the same time, I don't know how to throw a game. Like I can't do it. I don't have it in me to throw a game.
yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun to grow the community. It's going to be a lot of fun to interact. It's definitely different than the Table's Edge, because the Table's Edge, for the longest time, it was just me and some volunteers. Mm-hmm. Towards the end of my time, Tanner came on and Jace came on. But I wasn't there very long after that. Like, it just kind of ended after that. I moved on to Hastings. So this time, I mean, we were going through and building a schedule, and we have 10 staff for just the retail. That just blows my mind. 10 people already. We had one girl that she's interviewing tomorrow. She just wanted to come check out the store and just see what it looked like before she interviews tomorrow. And she found me in the building, so I guess maybe she watches Facebook Live or something.
Hold on. I got a funny story once you finish your thought. That's why I'm doing this.
Okay. And she actually came out, hey, I have an interview tomorrow. Your store's great. I'm like, and I went and introduced her to Alicia's like, unless she just does something real dumb in her interview tomorrow, I'll just hire her.
Yeah.
Because, that shows assertiveness. And she came and checked out the store. And I'm like, she started talking about like she was really into gaming stuff. I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect employee.
So we had a TV up front towards the front of the store, and for the most part, we were just looping this podcast, right? And like Tanner and I are just kind of floating around the whole time, and at one point, I'm just kind of standing by the TV, and I see this one kid just kind of do this little number. Like totally confused how I can be both there and inside that rectangle.
That's awesome.
I thought it was the best thing ever.
Have you seen the Croods 2 where he discovers the window?
I've never seen
No.
a Croods movie.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen the first movie, but not the second one.
Y'all are killing me. This is like working with all these 20-something-year-olds. Like, have you seen this movie? No.
I will say, like, my wife does not like watching movies.
I love them so much.
She does not want to commit to sitting down to watch something for that long. She'll watch television shows left and right.
My thing in life, because we live in Amarillo, is I when movies are fully up and operational, I will go to the movie theater at least once a week.
My favorite thing to do is just watch garbage movies. Just be horrible.
Like Fantastic Four from the 90s?
Yes, but Amanda hates them. But those are movies you have to watch them with somebody or it's not fun.
Right.
You have to have somebody there to make fun of it with or it's not fun.
Well, the first time I watched Napoleon Dynamite, like, this is stupid. And then I watched Napoleon Dynamite with a bunch of friends, and like, this is the most amazing movie ever.
Yeah, it's an experience when you watch it with people that are into that sort of stuff.
Last
too.
movie I saw in theaters, Spider-Man: Far From Home.
No way.
Sway.
No way.
Sway.
God, your life is terrible.
Before Godzilla,
And I
last
watched
movie-
it all by myself because I couldn't go with my family because we had my little ones.
Before Godzilla, last movie I saw in theater was the animated Addams Family.
That's gross, too. I haven't even seen that one.
It's pretty funny. It's good.
Yeah, sure it is, guy who hasn't seen the Croods. Let's see.
This podcast just needs to die. We're done. We're just rambling at this point. Mike loves the Fantastic Four movies from the 90s. He says they're the best movies, the best Marvel movies that have ever come
They
out.
truly are fantastic.
Yeah, hence the name.
Fantastic.
I'm
Four.
totally like BSing that. He says they're all right. They have their place. Not highest tier for sure. Not highest tier for sure, but entertaining enough for what they are.
So this one, I think he's talking about the legit movies. I'm talking about the Italian one that never even aired anywhere. You have to pirate it.
Because the Fantastic Four 1 and 2 were actually early to mid 2000s.
Yeah.
The 90s movie was the one that you only see people make fun of, like Rob Liefeld's drawing of Captain America's
Yes.
chest.
It's fantastic. Like I said, it's never aired.
Or
You
David
have to
Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
You have to download it somewhere. I think you might be able to watch it on YouTube. And usually there's one booth at a con that has just like bootleg movies. And usually they have it.
So I'm doing this whole, like, has a story like Brandon.
Have you never seen that? My wife does it all the
No.
time. Like when somebody's talking and she wants to remember.
You're interrupting
something.
mine, jerk. So the saddest
And
story.
if you cross your fingers,
I'm going to come over there. How to speak from yours. So saddest story is okay. So when we were like the Nick Fury movie in the 90s, like only
So
aired,
good.
You're a
It's
jerk.
so good.
It only aired like one time on TV, like Generation X. I've never seen the Generation X movie either from the 90s.
oh, you haven't?
And I
barely
was
remember
so ready to watch it. And then we had to go to Seattle to bring my uncle back. And that's when it aired. Like we were on the road and it aired. So I missed like my one and only chance to see David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
It's so good. I want so bad for them to do like, it comes out that, Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury's he's a Skrull. And then David Hasselhoff comes in. He's the real Nick Fury or something. I don't know. But they both need to be Nick Fury in a Disney Marvel movie at the same time.
I guess I just need to go YouTube this movie so I can watch it. Like I said, I want to see the Generation X movie, which I missed because of school events, because they never re-aired anything. And like, you might catch cartoons on being recasted as a kid, but they only ever showed certain episodes.
Yeah.
Like if you missed some of the episodes of X-Men, you never saw it again. Like, and I watched X-Men like for years religiously, but if you missed an episode, like when I was going back through and watching it again, there was tons of episodes that I missed.
Yeah.
So
I was talking to Ron this past weekend. We were talking about
way to name drop.
Yeah, little name drop. We were talking about just superheroes and stuff, and it came up that my son Ollie's favorite character is the Flash, and I don't know how that was without my influence. He just decided it, and Ron was like, "So what? You let him watch the CW show?" I was like, "No, but every now and then we watch I have the old '90s show on DVD, and we let him watch that. He thinks it's awesome."
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. It was a fun show. Thanks to everybody who joined in the chat. We'll do it again next week. Hopefully on
same time, same bat channel.
We actually went on late because we went to dinner. Brought to you by Slim Chickens. Good Slim Chickens.
Don't they owe us a check now?
I expect my buffalo wrap in my mouth by midnight.
Just the way you said that was just gross. You can find us on a lot of things. Just go find us. We don't know where all the things are.
We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on
That's
Twitch.
cool.
We are on YouTube. We
We're-
are on Facebook. Just look up Unknown Comics.
We're on Earth, too. At 201
Earth
Westgate.
2.
201 Westgate Parkway.
Is there an Earth
616.
You know what? That as well. Sorry.
As well. If you're listening to this and you made it through this far into the podcast, I really need you to go ahead and get on YouTube at about the same time just so you
gotta
can see Brandon go, as well. And he even flicked his hair. Like it was like,
I just
as
scratched
well.
my forehead.
No, no. It was all in the action.
We'll go
of
back and
as
do the replay.
well.
All right. I'm ending this. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back next week with another Unknown Comics podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.